Hello! We want to present to you our big object of study that is based on didactics and more specifically in the approach and implementation of technological devices in the English class as a tool and a way to improve writing skills directly and other skills indirectly at the same time. On the basis of difficulties that teachers from La Licenciatura have had and the lack of strategies to take benefit of technology devices. We support our topic of interest in a study that points to a virtual room, like a way to enhance writing skills in an EFL class, whose objective is like shape their writing skill in the English class through the use of a virtual room. We chose this study because it follows the principle of a qualitative paradigm, and the study used an active research methodology. To gather information, they used elicitation and observation techniques and interviews and student artifacts and journals. Another reason because we chose this study is because they use interviews as like an instrument to get students' perceptions regarding virtual resources, and the student artifacts have been used with the purpose of reveal information related to the writing features at the moment of working in the virtual room.
We based our topic on another project that is using personal portable devices as learning tools in the English class. Its purpose is to implement activities entailing the use of such devices and to learn their impact on students' learning and the use of English in class. The type of research they used was in a qualitative paradigm, and it was developed through action research. The methods to collect data they used were journals, anecdotal records, field notes, audios, video recordings, photo interviews, questionnaires, tests, document analysis, biographies. We chose these projects because they both keep a strong relation with the use of technological devices in the classroom, and both point to the approach of these ones in the English learning class instead of forbidding them.
Good morning, I am Mrs. Monica. Welcome to our program, Day to Day. In this section, we are going to talk about different types of research that can help the teachers to solve the problems in the classroom. We have two special guests that are Juber and Mrs. Melissa from la Universidad Católica de Oriente, and they are special researchers. And we have a call. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thanks.
What's your name?
My name is Roberto.
Okay, Roberto, tell us your problem.
Thanks, Monica. So I am an English teacher in a secondary school, and my students have been carrying with them these technological devices, laptops, telephones, and other things that I don't know because of my age.
That's a big problem. And how many students do you have?
I have 25 students.
A lot. How long have you ever been with them?
I have been with them for a year.
Okay, Mr. Roberto, don't turn on the television because our special guests are going to help you with your problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Monica.
Okay, Mr. Juber and Mrs. Melissa, welcome to our program. Thank you.
Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Juber.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Mr. Roberto, thanks for sharing to us your problem. And it's a very nice topic, and it's a really common problem in our schools nowadays. So, I think we as teachers have to change all the time concepts of things that like come up from the culture, from the society needs. And one of these is the technology in the classroom. So what happens? There are two authors that could like help me with this, are Nieves and Daira. They are teachers and friends from Universidad Pedagógica de Colombia, and they tell us, teachers, don't worry, take advantage of these devices and use them as tools that help to like promote cooperative work, and use them to simulate different environments. These devices are going to help you. So don't worry, Mr. Roberto.
Thank you, Juber. Okay, as the presenter said before, we are going to talk about the different types of research. Excuse me. Okay, for example, Mr. Roberto can use action research that, according to Carr and chemists, this kind of research can help you to reflect the way you are teaching, and can help you to solve and to improve the problems in the classroom. Okay, the action research has some stages to follow. The first one is to find a starting point that Mr. Roberto told us, that are his students are using tools, telephones, iPads in the classroom, and this is a big problem. For example, Mr. Roberto, to collect data, you can use, for example, interviews. In which teachers and you, Mr. Roberto, can ask students why they are using these devices in the class, and if these tools are helping them in the learning process, if they are useful.
Thank you. And special characteristic of this type of research is that as you are researching, you are collecting data. So this is like, it's emerging changes all the time, and it's more flexible for you and for you and your students. So I would recommend you a proposal that two researchers, Daira and Nieves, have related to this problem. So you could start implementing a strategy with these devices. First of all, you're going to get familiar students with the tools you want to use. I recommend you Edmodo, Moodle, even you could use Facebook and WhatsApp, being the most common nowadays among the students. Then you could start like proposing topics and making more active participation of your students. This is maybe going to help you to take benefit of these devices and reduce the lack of attention in the class. This is the first phase of the intervention. The second phase is more related to the observation.
Okay, I want to say something that is useful. For example, to clarify the situation, in a general way, they are the interviews. But for example, if we are teachers, in a personal way, we can use the field notes.
Field notes, yes.
It's a like of diary in which you can write your experiences and your strategies you are applying, and even your problems, and it can help the teachers to change or to modify the positive way, in a positive way.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. It's very nice.
Yes, something to keep in mind. Okay, and the second phase is the observation. As I said before, there are methods to collect data. For example, Hopkins and Winter say that these elements can help teachers to get information to solve the problems. For example, they say that we can use interviews, photos, anecdotal recording, journals. That's a lot. That can help teachers to solve the problems.
And finally, if you want to share your experience, your work, you could publish it in your school, and that could change the mind of other teachers that have the same problem. Thank you, Mr. Roberto, and thank you for all the viewers. Sorry.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell me, what is your name?
My name is Luisa.
Luisa, it's nice to meet you. Could you help me with a question?
Of course, tell me.
Okay, how have you experienced like the coming of technological devices to the classroom? You as a teacher of secondary school.
For me, it's very difficult because, as you know, it's difficult to work with adolescents. For example, in the classroom, I ask them to keep these phones, the laptops, but they don't pay attention. They just are paying attention to their phones, and they are always texting, and they don't do anything, and it's a difficult problem in my classroom.
Thank you.
Okay, hello, Antonio.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, can you help me with some ideas that you, as teacher, how have you experienced with the coming technological devices in your class?
So, it's a very common topic in our school these days. I work in 7th grade, and the principal tell us that we have to talk to them, not to like force them to keep them away, but also to talk with their parents, and tell them that they don't bring these devices to the school. They just don't bring them now.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
My name is Melissa.
Melissa, can I ask you something?
Of course.
What grade do you teach?
I teach in 8th grade.
8th grade. Good. How many students do you have?
I have 15.
15. Okay, tell me, how have you experienced the coming of technological devices to the class?
For me, it is difficult because I work in a private school, and for example, as a teacher, I cannot talk to the students. I have to talk to my boss and help him, and ask him for help. And I have not found the way to apply these technological devices in my classes, and it is difficult for me.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Bernardo.
Bernardo. Can I ask you something?
Yes, of course, tell me.
Okay, you as a teacher, how have you experienced with the coming technological devices?
Well, most of my coworkers don't agree with the use of these devices, but I think that the coming up of these machines have helped me to improve the communication with my students. Why? Because we have a group on WhatsApp, so everybody knows what the homework we have for any day we assign. Everybody's talking about the homework there, so I try to foster the use of this with that intention. So it has not been so difficult. It has been something nice.
Very interesting, thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
What's your name?
My name is Alicia.
Alicia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Could I ask you something?
Yes.
Are you a teacher?
Yes, of course. I work with adolescents, and some of them are adults.
Adults. Good. Where do you work?
I work en la Universidad Católica de Oriente.
And do you work in other places?
Yes, I have particular groups.
Okay. How have you experienced the coming of technological devices to the classroom?
For me, it has been successful.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I have applied some applications, for example, in which my students can interact. For example, when they don't know some words, they can go and look for a word, and for example through Facebook we can, my students and I can share information and what they think.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the textual description, we would add what the people interviewed answered to the main question about the lived experience regarding the use of cell phone and other technological devices and the impact they have over the students, parents, and the class, and the structural can be materialized when we ask them about the school where they work, the number of students, and because it's more focused on context features.
In the interviews, we can notice that teachers show like a resistance to the use and the implementation of the technological devices. And besides, the lack of knowledge and support regarding this topic by the educational system they belong, opting by traditional strategies to regulate the use of these devices. Based on the interviews made in the phenomenological study, we'll do a collective construction about the issue of interest. That is, we'll write down what each one of the participants thought about how they lived the experience of students' technological devices use. After making a detailed description, we are going to categorize the interviews according to the different topics that emerged in the previous study.